This is the 76th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud. Taiku is an unresolved question that, as a tradition has it, that we need to wait until the Messiah comes. And as Elijah heralds the coming of Messiah, it's the tradition goes that Elijah answers the questions, and I always thought, why doesn't Messiah answer the questions? So that's my own personal Taiku. But this is the 76th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and it's found in Tractate Ketubot 54a. The content is slightly adult content, so viewer discretion advised. Ketubot 54a. Boi Rav Papa Basanus yesh lemizaynes Ali b'Rav Yossi v'Reimu lo yitevarach Gavara yesh la ketubah manhe. Rav Papa brings an interesting case. He raises a dilemma with regard to a daughter of a raped woman. Now this is really interesting, and this is coming up now because in this week's Torah portion of Ki Teitze, it discusses exactly that. A woman who was violated, and what has to happen afterwards. But I also saw some cases of the whole thing with the Yazidi and the ISIS when they captured the Yazidi young women, and many of them were in that situation, and unfortunately. And I saw a video of a woman who confronted her, beepist, I'll say it. And he seemed to be penitent. He seemed to be actually. He was an ISIS guy, and he had beeped her when she was 14 years old, and she was on TV. She had the courage to go up there and confront him, and he was standing there with his face down in total shame. I guess he had an attack of conscience, and it was just horrible to see this scene. It was so intense, and she was recalling what happened, and then it was in Arabic, whatever, and it wasn't transliterated. It wasn't there were no subtitles, so I just got by the context of what it was. And he was just standing there with his face down to the ground. He himself was on the verge of tears. I mean, you could tell that he was really sad. He had I don't know why he wasn't locked up or whatever, but apparently he was just there. And it happened many years ago, so maybe it's out of the statute of limitations. But and at the end of her thing, she collapsed. She fainted. She was recounting. She was in so much trauma that she just collapsed and hit the ground. It was just. But anyway, the point is that I'm tuning into this. I don't know what you call it. Some kind of a synchronicity or some kind of a singularity where all the things now are matching up. Like I'm seeing this on the video, it's under my feed. I don't know how it got there, but it was either X or Facebook, one of the two. I think it was X. And the kind of stuff they post, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unreal. But this is not acting. This is very real. I mean, as far as I can tell. And anyway, the Taiku that I'm reading right now is the 76th Taiku, and it's talking about exactly that. How does that? And I started 75 days ago. This is day 76. So how do you? And we finished Tractate Avodah Zarah. We're starting a new Tractate on Avodah Zarah. I mean, in Daf Yomi, but that's besides the point. But 76 dafim of Avodah Zarah, which we just finished, and this is the 76th Taiku. I started at the same time. But is there a connection with what I'm reading here and with what's going on over there in wherever it was, Yemen, or I don't know, Yazidis. I don't know what they were. They were like, maybe they were Yemen Christian girls. I don't know, many of them were beeped. And it was a very sad thing, you know. And so basically, back to the Taiku here. There's another connection. Oh yeah, and you put in the gematria. I typed in the gematria. Okay, this is really crazy. RAPE. Okay, and it equals in English gematria 40. And exactly today on the PL89 calendar, we are in box 40. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? I don't know. I'm noticing I'm tapping more and more into this singularity, and I don't know how it works. I don't think that what I'm doing is necessarily unique. It's not like I have found the key. Anyone can do this if you have a series of numbers and you really focus on it, or any information series, set of information, and it goes in series. Then it starts to tap into the big everything. I call it the big everything, which means how everything connects at once. And I'm seeing that happen now. I mean, this is verifiable. I can tell you this is the 76 Taiku. This talks about the concept of a woman being violated. We're in the Torah portion of a woman being violated, and I saw a video of a woman being violated. They're not connected to each other. No one would see that on their feed. And I didn't see this yesterday. But and again, on the PL89 calendar, it's also 40, and RAPE equals 40. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. But I think, again, what I'm understanding is that any series or information set that repeats like a cycle and you meditate on it, it starts to show how everything connects. Because at the end of the day, everything is connected in some way. Okay, so let's go back to the Taiku here, which is the 76th Taiku, right? 76th. And it's on Ketubot 54a. So, boy, Rav Papa raises a dilemma. Basanus, Yesh Lamazonis, Hay Lamazonis, I didn't know this, well, you wouldn't lose your body. Yesh Lagas, raises in regard to a daughter of a beeped woman. Let's say a man beeped a young woman, and then he was forced to marry her. That's the law of the Torah, which you read about in this week's Torah portion. Can you imagine that? This week's Torah portion, okay, he married her, he's forced to marry her. It says he can't divorce her all his days. Has a child, and then he died. Does she have the right to receive sustenance from her father's estate, or does she not have the right to receive sustenance from his estate? I don't know why. Why not? It's from her father. The Gemara comments, according to the opinion of Rabbi Yossi, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, do not raise this dilemma, as he said, that a beeped woman has a marriage contract of 100 dinars, and therefore she is entitled to the stipulations of a marriage contract, one of which is that if she has a daughter with her husband, the daughter receives sustenance from the husband's estate. Okay, let's continue. We're not at the Taiku yet. Rather, let the dilemma be raised according to the opinion of the rabbis, who say that the money of her fine fulfilled his obligation to provide her with a marriage contract, meaning since she has already received the fine in compensation for the beep, she is not entitled to further payment in the form of a marriage contract. According to this opinion, what is the halacha? Oh, I got it. Is she the right to receive from her father's estate? Okay, is a beeped woman, if she's beeped, is she required to receive sustenance? Does she have a right? Is she considered like any other child? I don't see why not. I would say just for the fact that, whatever, being born is hard enough, she should at least be entitled. It should be a rule that, just out of decency, anyone who's born out of a beep should be entitled to her father's estate. You know? I mean, what did she do wrong that she doesn't receive that? I mean, she's... Anyway, according to the opinion, what's the halacha? Okay, the dilemma is according to the rabbis who say that the money of her fine fulfilled... Oh, so when... Okay, when the money of her fine fulfilled obligation to pay the marriage contract, since she already received the fine and compensation for the beat, she's not entitled to further payment in the form of a marriage contract. According to this opinion, what's the halacha? Anyway, okay, fine, let's continue. It came into less law, Kasuba, less than Mazoin Idilla, Kasuba time and my. Kadesh like Tehe Karabena, Lesio, Beha, Lomatzi, Mepekla, Taiku. The Gemara elaborates. It may be argued that since the mother does not have a marriage contract, the daughter does not have the right to receive sustenance from her father's estate. Or perhaps one should consider the following. What is the reason that the marriage contract was enacted? So that his wife will not be demeaned in his eyes, such that he will easily divorce her. And this one, his beat victim, he cannot divorce her by Torah law. As it is stated, he may not send her all away all his days. That's in this week's Torah portion. Deuteronomy 22:29. It was therefore necessary for the sages to require that he provide the woman with a marriage contract. However, the reasons for the stipulations included a marriage contract. For example, that his daughter received sustenance from his estate still apply in this case. Consequently, the sages stipulated that these provisions still be granted. Yet again, the Gemara states that the dilemma shall stand unresolved.